Welcome back to the Digital Ledger channel, everybody. If you haven't had a chance to watch the video from this morning on the Investment Perspectives channel, go check it out. We break down the Brad Garlinghouse video that came out yesterday. A lot of interesting little tidbits inside of that video. Make sure you go check it out. And let's keep people coming in on this Digital Ledger channel because we're going to continue to cover other coins as well as Ripple XRP news and broaden the spectrum out to more crypto space information as well. So keep a lookout. Got really great things coming out for that. So also there's some PolySign SEC news in on that video as well. Make sure you go check it out. Okay, so getting into this today, we want to talk about the Bank of New York Mellon Bank, and there's some custody movement here, and it's important. First thing to note, on the PolySign front, they had yesterday or the day before on the 9th, I believe it was. Let me take a look here. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get that muted real quick. Okay, sorry about that. So let's take a look here. This was actually filed 2 days ago on the 9th. And it looks like they had a offering of $2.7 million in sales, or for sales offering for PolySign. They sold about $1.5 million, and that was a couple days ago. So let's keep an eye on that. And we're excited to see PolySign launch sometime this year, as long as they're still on track from what they had said originally in the beginning of 2020. So that's the first thing in custody news. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and shout out to Wrath of Khan on Twitter for that information. Okay, so now Bank of New York Mellon Corporation. Let's listen to this right here. BNY Mellon has announced Caroline Butler has joined BNY Mellon as global head of custody, reporting directly to Roman Riegelman, head of asset servicing and digital, and will be based in New York. In this role, she will lead product strategy, embracing new realities and markets and modernizing custody platforms. She will lead product strategy, embracing new realities and markets and modernizing custody platforms. New realities. Isn't that interesting? Another interesting note is Bank of New York, Bank of Mellon is deeply involved with Ripple. So let's keep this going. We are extremely pleased to welcome Caroline to BNY to lead our custody team in a transformation of our capabilities. The transformation of our capabilities. Custody is core to our business and what we are best known for by many of our clients. It is often the very first thing people think about when they hear BNY Mellon. As such, a strong global custody platform is absolutely essential in our competitive position. The custody space is transforming with digital and new operating models playing increasingly important roles in how we meet client needs, said Roman Riegelman. Are you hearing this? Is this on? Caroline spent nearly 2 decades at JP Morgan, where she most recently headed the global custody product for the Americas, which included leading the development of the exchange trade fund servicing product. Her experience includes roles across a range of investment services, trading businesses, primarily centered on product management and development. Caroline brings experience in working in 3 key regions, and it shows these things down here. The Bank of, and then it gives a little disclaimer. Okay, look, here's the big story here. The big story is custody's going digital. Custody's going digital. The head of asset servicing and digital. You know, this is ridiculous. I mean, in the greatest way, right? She will lead product strategy, embracing new realities and markets and modernizing custody platforms. I have to say, you know, did they say Ripple? No. Did they say XRP? No. But did they say that they're modernizing everything with new realities that are approaching us? Yes. Do we know that BNY Mellon is involved with Ripple? Yes. Do we know that PolySign is going to launch this year, or at least plans to? Yes. Are you going to do you have to read the tea leaves a little bit here to understand what's happening? Yes. Let's keep going. I have to tell you, here's another indicator that custody is sweeping across all of the industry and not just in BNY's backyard. Custody provider Copper joins the think tank to bridge gap between traditional finance and crypto. Really? London-based crypto custodian Copper has joined the digital monetary system as a founding member to inform a range of discussions on the adoption of digital currencies by central banks. Come on in. DMI is run by the official Monetary and Financial Institution Forum, the OMFIF, an independent think tank concerned with central banking, economic policy, and public investment. According to Copper, the move marks a major milestone in realizing the custodian ambitions to bridge the gap between the world of traditional finance and the emerging potential of blockchain and crypto-related technologies. We are delighted to be joining OMFIF, a digital money institute. The forum it provides to create open and productive discussions between public and private organizations is already proven crucial to advancing the foundational structures of global finance. And we are excited to have the opportunity to support in realizing this endeavor. Shout out to Dmitry Tokarev, CEO of Copper Technologies. This is the trend, and this is where we're going. Now, it's not a guess. That's not a guess. That's fundamental moves happening. All right, big players in the space making things happen. All right, so here we go. Here is a great 4-minute read here from Marcus Treacher. Unfortunately, we're going to have to go through this whole thing. It is a fantastic article, and we got to touch it. Reminder, Marcus Treacher, one of the main designers and workers on putting RippleNet together, and he came from Swift. So when they built RippleNet, they built it with the ISO20022 technology and being able to work in tandem with that, based around that technology. So this is pretty remarkable. Let's go ahead and get into this article here. The modern global supply chain revolutionized the shipping industry by standardizing the way cargo is packaged and transported around the world. This containerization drove down the cost of goods and blurred the lines of regional boundaries. Today, cross-border payments are the cusp of a similar transformation. It's another wave of transformation coming to the shipping and supply lines. Payment protocols and messaging across the world are fragmented and restrictive, due in part to countries and financial networks all adhering to various standards. These results in closed networks that don't speak to each other, unstructured data, and opaque payments that require high manual intervention result in poor payments experience. The ISO, the International Standards Organization, established a universal standard, ISO20022 in 2004, to bring legacy payment infrastructures into the modern world and help to enable global interoperability and an improved customer experience. ISO 20022 is steadily becoming the global standard for the world's cross-border payment flows. Ripple has been a leader in this shift, and our network, RippleNet, has been aligned with ISO 2022 standards from the start. Now we're thrilled to share that Ripple is a part of the ISO 20222 or 20022 registration management groups for standards body, and the first member focused on distributed ledger technology. Massive. That is a huge flag right there in the best way. This membership enables us to meet needs of our 300 plus customers by helping define the future direction of cross-border payment standards to evolve the ISO standard. I'm going to drop the 2022 for now. Through this membership, Ripple is able to contribute our experience and expertise in the application of the ISO standard to cross-border payments and its use in the DLT data structures in our standardized API. In fact, Ripple and our customers on RippleNet are pioneering ISO 20022 for cross-border payments. Adoption of the ISO for domestic ACH and RTGS payments has become widespread over the past 10 years. That's how long this has been going on. But so far, its use by others has been limited in cross-border payments. ISO 20022 is the de facto global data standard for modern payments messaging between financial institutions and payment systems. already adopted domestically in 70 countries, it is estimated that the 87% of the global financial transactions will be supported by ISO20022 by 2023. This common language helps banks, financial institutions, and systems realize end-to-end processing across domains, geographies, and the key element of creating efficient interoperability. Now, this 2023 number looks closer to a full inflection point at that time. You know what I mean? A fuller adoption point by 2023, 2025. That doesn't mean to me that, we're not going to see any motion happen until then. If you go now in your mind and say, okay, well, what did we just hear from Ashish Birla and a reaffirming from Brad Garlinghouse, was that they're going to focus on the low, high value, high frequency payments, right? And this is like a tightened focus, as Brad Garlinghouse said towards the end of the video he did yesterday, a tightened, more laser-like focus, and I'm paraphrasing, towards getting that done, which sets up the narrative to move to the greater adoption of this by 2023 that we're talking about here. So to me, it just seems like it's a part of the plan. It just seems like we're moving in order as we should. Another thing I'd like to remind everybody too very quickly here is that small, medium enterprises, small businesses in America make up about 70 to 90% of the entire economy. So when you hear them saying they're going to focus on low value payments at high frequency or whatever, I don't see that as like a retreat. What I see is a massive opportunity to win. Okay, industry globalization, structured data, streamlines processing and cross-border payments, leading to fewer false positives and compliance investigations, as well as stronger regulatory controls. They can build this compliance, and they do build this compliance inside of RippleNet, which is built around the ISO 20022. That's the point there. When all the networks adhere to these same rules and protocols, payment reach and straight-through processing dramatically improve. Achieving very high levels of straight-through processing in payments is an essential prerequisite for the world's digital economy to mature and deliver the benefits to society and commerce predicted by industry experts, such as machine-to-machine payments, the Internet of Things, smart supply chains, and greater financial inclusion. This is because these models all need extremely reliable, high-value, immediate payments to be effective. ISO 20022 is critical in achieving this. Resilience is improving through this interoperability because if one part of the system is down, the same standard data can be used to efficiently reroute the transaction. Payment reach is also extended due to the increased compatibility between payment providers, and customers will experience faster, more reliable payments with fewer errors and improved transparency. Taken together, these open standards foster greater industry competition and innovation. Stepping into the modern world together, it says the world is converging on a new global standard and stepping into the future. And that's another thing. When you look at the fact that they've recently joined the ISO 202 or the International Standards Organization to be the first member to be exploring distributed ledger technology. When you hear Brad Garlinghouse say that they've had a 85% increase from Q4 of last year to Q1 of this year on RippleNet, and there's people out here in the crypto Twitter community talking about the fact that they think this is not going well because they're focusing on low value, high frequency payments. The fact that Mr. Ahmed from PayPal said last December that, having access to something like XRP and that innovation in tech could really help PayPal with low value payments. I don't know. Sounds like a win to me. Anyway, to ensure the shift delivers its full potential, the payment industry must work to continue to drive the ISO 20022 adoption. Ripple is in a unique position to help its customers take full advantage of ISO 20022 standards, advising on the topics and related messages and integration so that customers can simplify deployment and further reduce operational overhead on RippleNet. There you go. Contact them if you are in need of that service. All right, guys, that's where I'm going to wrap it right here. I want to shout out to DJ Peter Vass for some of the information on this today. Really, really great stuff that he's always putting out. Follow him on Twitter. But I also just want to say as a side note, let's really, make sure we're all having an open conversation. Look, it is not wrong to want to question where the investment is or where the company's progress is. In fact, it's healthy, right? But at the same time, we want to make sure that we have a conversation and not resolved premature thoughts about the matter. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. If you like the content, please share. Let's keep this thing going. We'll catch you on the next one.